Ladies and gents, hello. Welcome back. We've just made landfall in Africa. Mozambique's sort of back there-ish somewhere. I think we're over South Africa itself right now. Our top of descent is sort of approaching in that direction. It's just over 160 miles away, so we've kind of got plenty of time still, but I figured while I've got plenty of time, it gives me an opportunity to go over the descent and the approach in a bit of detail. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's whip this out here. Have a look at the descent checklist. Well, recall has been checked, and that's fine. And air conditioning and pressurization is ooh, that should be a 340. That's a bit naughty of me. Well, we haven't suffocated, so let's pretend everything was fine. You didn't see anything there. Whoops. Anyway. Yeah. And now, briefing. Okay, so, let's put this away. We're approaching right now, and we're programmed in with the arrival that I left programmed in, basically, from before we took off. I had to program it in on the ground, because as I explained, the VNav in this aircraft doesn't actually work until you've put in a full arrival, including getting rid of any discontinuities that might be in the FMC. I've already discussed that. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct or not, but it just seems to be the way it works with the current version of the plane, sadly. So we're just going to get on with it. So the current one I've got plugged in seems to be pretty straightforward, and I think that's quite good. What we do need to do is check up on the weather at Johannesburg right now, which is blowing at 250 degrees with 2 knots, so winds are calm at the minute. So I think I'm going to just leave the original approach that I programmed in anyway, because it's winds calm. It really doesn't matter which direction we land in with winds like that. So just to save a bit of bother, I think we'll stick with that. I will have a quick butchers at VATSPY. Don't think there's going to be any control waiting for us. There is not. No. So, no worries there. It is the crack of stupid right now for me at the moment flying. And yeah, I'd be very surprised if there are any South African controllers on, to be honest with you, because it's the crack of stupid for them too, what the time zones being the way they are. So, anyhow, this is the arrival we're going to be doing. Looks a bit like this. Cockpit 4 Alpha is the one we're going to be flying. As you can see, it starts here at Cockpit, which is actually a holding point. And if we're going too fast and we're too high, it'd be advisable to hold there until we get to between sort of flight level 110 and flight level 280. Then we want to continue on here until we get to Sierra Lima Papa, or 40 miles from JSV, from Johannesburg VOR. If we were flying off the radials, but we're not, so no worries there. But were you to cross-check it, like I believe a proper pilot probably would, that's what you'd cross-check it against. We then turn on to a heading of 211, and we fly all the way down here in pretty much a straight line, following the 031 radial from Hotel Golf Victor, and which is all the way down here. That's Heidelberg. 116.7 if you wanted to tune that into the nav radios and be super duper sure you were flying the correct the correct arrival route. I don't know what standard operating procedure for guys like Comair down in sort of South Africa and places like this, to be honest with you. Would they fly purely using the RNAV stuff, like I assume you probably would in Europe, or would you still use the old VOR navigational aids? I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me who knows more about it than I do. I'd be curious to know. However, I'm going to fly it using the old magenta line, like the casual pleb that I am. So we're going to fly all the way down here, and then you'll see it pretty much just peters off at this point, and that's where I think realistically we'd be getting ATC vectors for our approach. And in our case, it's simply a case of I don't know what the navigational display is actually drawn, if I'm being completely honest with you, but we'll have a look at that in the plan mode. But effectively at that point, I will self-vector us onto the localizer for 03 left over there. I don't know really which runway would is used for arrivals at Tambo. I honestly don't know. All I know is that 03 left is a bit longer, and 03 left is closer to the terminal, and so on those grounds, because I'm a lazy bastard, I think I'm just going to go with 03 left, and that's what I've already got programmed in anyway, so I think we'll stick with that, shall we? So once we get onto the ILS, it looks a bit like this. This is the final approach. We just intercept the localizer like this and fly it in. You come in at 8,000 feet. You've got to remember Johannesburg is a relatively high elevation, so we've got a lot of high altitudes on things like our final approach fix here. So we come in at 8,000 feet barometric and 7.7 miles from JSI, which is the localizer. That's when we start descending on the glide path. 3 degree. 3 degree? Really? What am I even doing? Apparently I'm speaking pidgin English today. 3 degree glide slope down to the runway, so pretty straightforward really. The only thing is I have no idea how to set a barometric decision height in this aircraft. There is a decision height knob down in the cockpit on my right there, but I'm pretty sure that's just for the radio altimeter. So I really don't know what to do with that. I think I might just leave it at the default sort of 200 for minimums, and we'll go from there, because I have no idea. I suppose I could always subtract the airport elevation from this. Sorry, this. But I don't know what the airport elevation even is, so forget it. So that's the general idea. It's fairly straightforward, although I suppose if you're not used to chart reading, it's probably kind of horrifying, but hey ho. Parallel approach authorized with runway 03 right. So is that so? I guess they use both runways then in that case. Fair enough. Anyway, so that's the approach. So let's see. Decision height set at 200. That's set down here, by the way. This thing. This doohickey down there. That's what sets the decision height. Let's go into plan mode. Take a look at things in here. Oh no, I'm gonna have to. If I want to control it from the left, the right CDU over here, I'm actually gonna have to set plan mode on both monitors, and then step through it like this. Oh, might be worth reducing the range somewhat as well. So we're looking at the left monitor over here, and we're going to step through. Sorry, apologies. Legs. Okay, step through from where we are down here, and as you can see, it more or less matches up with what the chart showed. Pretty well actually. Then it continues down here. And it ends at this point, which, yeah, as you can see in the CDU there, it just reads vectors. So yeah, it's pretty much got it spot on. I did tell you this plane was good with this stuff, and it is. You know, it's pretty excellent at it. So there you go. There's vectors, and then if we step again, it cuts straight to the extended sunline of the runway, and that's the point where we will. That's the point where we'll intercept the localizer ourselves. It's even going to put a couple of green dots here. I don't even know what those are. I would assume some sort of decel points or something. I'm not sure really, but yeah, the missed approach procedure looks a bit funny. I must admit, yeah, it's done a sort of woohoo. I don't quite know what it was going for with that, but the actual missed approach, if you look at the chart, goes like that. So I don't know what that is, if I'm being completely honest, but okay. There's probably some sort of I don't even know how I got that from the chart. Actually, I'm looking at it now and I'm just thinking I have no idea. Well, if we go missed, I guess we're going to be flying off radials. I don't plan to go missed, of course, but yeah, okay. It might be worth actually dialing in the required VOR on the second nav radio, just in case, to be honest with you, actually. So what is that? That'll be WKV, Whiskey Kilo Victor 116.9. So let me just do that actually right now. Like I said, I don't plan to go missed at all, but, you know, helps to plan for contingencies and so on. Just make my life easier if I do have to go around. for whatever reason. You never know. This is VATSIM. Some idiot could pull onto the runway immediately just as I'm approaching my minimums or something. So, yeah, 116.9 in there, and the course. Let's see. What we'd want first is the 210 radial, and then once you get to the 210 radial, you see here, make a left turn here, and then you turn onto this, and then at the 210 radial, that's when you turn onto a heading of 250 degrees, and you intercept the 220 radial. So we would want, theoretically, hypothetically, were we to go around, we'd want 210 dialed in on there to begin with, and we could switch this side over to VOR, and then we'd fly off using that pretty much. The old-fashioned way, essentially. So let's yank this out of plan mode as well. Go back to map. Set the range up like that, and bring it back down again, actually, to be honest with you. Top of droppings is incoming. As you can see, let me just bug that up a bit. There we go. Okay, so that's done. We can go over here now to the FMC, and we can go descent and forecast. Transition level is definitely not 4,000. It's actually 8,000. And Joburg. And I've tried putting in QNH on here before, but it just does not seem to ever bloody work. So I don't really know what to make of that. I mean, if I can get the QNH for Johannesburg right now, is actually 1023. It was worth looking that up anyway, but I've tried putting it in like 1023. That doesn't do anything. Let me just execute that while we're here, by the way. You do /1023. I've even put the ISA in, and it's well. It just doesn't. I don't know how that works anyway. So, however, I can put in some descent winds, which will make our top of descent calculation a little bit more on the money, which you really need in this plane because it's very quick. It doesn't like to slow down. Yeah, we're probably going to be riding the speed brakes all the way down in this aircraft, if I'm being completely honest, because I don't know. It's just a slippery bugger, the 737. It doesn't want to grind to a halt anytime soon. So if I have a look at the winds in my OFP, which you guys unfortunately cannot see them in it because I didn't print it out as a PDF this time. But my descent winds look a little bit like this. At top of descent, 340. Oh dear, I forgot. You don't like it if I have to put in 3,000. There we go. Flight level 340, and then we'll take our descent winds going down from flight level 200, I suppose, and then flight level 100. I don't know how you watch what altitude you're supposed to pick for this, because I've got wind data for all the different flight levels going all the way down to flight level 100, but you can only put 3 in here, so I don't know. Again, this is beyond my realms of knowledge. I don't understand or know what that's about, but I'm just doing it the way I've seen other folks do it, and I've had it told to me before. You probably don't. Theoretically, you don't even need to put this in anyway. This is sort of optional extra stuff just to make the calculations a bit more on the money. So the winds at flight level 340 are 241 at 37. There we go. At 200, it's 234 at 33. And at flight level 100, it's 257 at 9. There you go. So there's that done. That will make our top of descent calculations and descent calculations a bit more accurate, which is always nice. So I might just arrive in time for sunset or dusk. Actually, it'd be kind of nice because I'd like to see a bit of X-plane night lighting, if I'm honest. It's one of the best things about this sim, for sure. Okay, we can also go to the approach ref page, and we'll be using flaps 30, so our VREF. According to this right now is 145. However, I'm probably going to want to check back closer to our actual landing because the gross weight will get lower and lower. Normally, what you do, I believe, is you'd take your projected gross weight out of your OFP document or using your own calculations. And you type it in there for your gross weight on landing, and then you select your flaps and your appropriate speed. However, last time I tried putting in my calculated gross weight here, I type it in, and then click, it crashed the FMC plugin. So I'm not even going to think about doing that right now. I'm just going to leave it as is. But this page does give us one other very useful piece of information, and that's the ILS frequency and the course. So if you didn't know that, it's right there. You don't need to go and look at the chart again. In fact, it's recommended to use this here because this is more accurate to whatever's in your sim currently. The chart might not match up what's in your simulator. So for the ILS approach, we want to tune 110.3 down here. Now we'd want to tune both these radios to the same frequency if we wanted to do a full auto land, but we're not going to be doing that. So 110.3 on there, and the course is 034. So let's get that set up here before I forget. Find myself on final approach with no ILS frequency. So that's 034. There we go. Very nice. And that's pretty much everything done now. I'll go back to the progress page. The ETA on the progress page for all this stuff is completely wrong, by the way. I'm afraid the calculations seem to be way off for some reason, because according to this, we'll be arriving in approximately 1 minute. So yeah, I don't see us landing at Johannesburg in 60 seconds. So yeah, take it for what it's worth. The distance readings it gives you, though, are perfectly fine, though, so that's why I've got it open mostly. Alright, well, that's pretty much everything done. We've still got a little while to go until top of descent, another 80 miles, so, you know, I'll be here for a few more minutes at least. But then we'll start descending, and then we'll fly the approach. But for now, really, I'm just going to keep looking out the window, enjoying the view, and I'll be back with you guys when we're actually flying the approach. So, see you in a bit. Urge to hum songs from The Lion King. Rising. Ugh. What a view, though. Jesus Christ. I didn't even plan this, to be honest with you. I didn't bother to check what time we would arrive at, but fucking hell, look at that. That is a view and a half, especially with all the night lighting and stuff down below. Bloody hell. Anyway, so, I don't want to get too distracted here. We're currently flying along down here, 210 knots right now. I want to get some flaps down, actually. Everyone can sit down and shut up. Or we'll put the slats out at least. So, it's going to reduce our angle of attack a little bit. Yeah, good stuff. We're going to continue flying up on this heading, and then I'm going to bring us round to intercept with the end of the extended descent line. And as we do so, we will be descending down to 8,000 feet, which is our final approach. I'm sorry, I can't English today. Final approach fix. Altitude. There, we got it in the end. Let's go to... Ooh, look at this. It turns yellow when it gets to sort of night time, as if it's lit by the cockpit lights. It's kind of cool. I never noticed that before. Anyway, let's see, approach checklist, engine start switches, flip you boys over to continuous. Altimeters, QNH set and cross-checked. Yeah, we'll be descending down to 8,000 momentarily, so we'll set that now. QNH is 1024. So let's set you here. And for once, because I always forget normally, set it on the standby as well. For some reason, like the knob on the standby altimeter for setting the QNH is smooth, but it's really jittery. You see that on the main one? I really don't know why that is, but whatever. So that's now set. And map integrity verified now. But map integrity, I've since learned, is you cross-check sort of heading or distance on your map with the, your DME equipment for your VORs and stuff to make sure it's all correct and working in proper fashion. I know for a fact it's correct and working in proper fashion because it's a sim, so there's no really point in us doing that right now, and I don't have a co-pilot to help me out with it anyway, so we'll forget about that and call the approach checklist complete. And around about this juncture, I think... yeah, let's turn on to a new heading of... oops, Daisy, wrong knob. Ooh, matron. Yeah, no, that'll do quite nicely. Didn't have to ride the speed brakes too much on the way down, actually, so I'm eating my own words on that one. But quite happy to. So, never mind. Look at that sunset as we turn around there. That's so freaking awesome. It looks... yeah, just well done. 10 out of 10 X-Plane. Anyway, so... oh, by the way... I love how that... I've got nothing better to talk about right now, so... I just wanted to make the point that, having discovered this not too long ago, you've got the background light dimmer, which is fine. But you turn it all the way up, it turns on this light, and I don't know what it is, but I just love the way it flickers. It's so legit. The attention to detail on this plane is insane. I mean, go down here and look at this. Look, you got all the lights on here, and you got all the wiring and stuff as well under the glare shield, and then you got this. This flight deck is just gorgeous. I mean, you can see why it took them 5 years to make the damn thing, I suppose. But holy crap, the eye candy is real right now, folks. Don't even know what to say. Anyway, don't need that right now. Okay, so localizer coming up. We'll turn on to that sort of heading, and we want to intercept it from a sort of 30-degree angle. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and reduce that all the way down to 10 nautical miles. And this is currently tracking VOR... which one? VOR2? Yeah, we don't want it to track VOR2. Can I do a sort of flicker transfer display switch here somewhere? Yeah, 5, both on 1. Whoops! Alright, let's, yeah, maybe not do that. Don't fuck with the transfer and display switches in mid-flight, you lunatic. Okay. Let's hit Command A and we'll get back on that, heading. Flippin' heck. Don't know what that was about. Alright, that clearly doesn't do what I thought it did. I thought that was talking about the EFIS, i.e. that thing. Never mind. Oh well. Anyway. One of these around here must do it, though. Surely. Alright. Looks like we're not going to find out which one it is today. I'm sure some clever person in the comments will let me know. But right now I can't figure it out, so never mind. Oh, and amidst that kerfuffle, I've left this turn way too late. Never mind, we're going to overshoot slightly, but it's... oh my god, I've done it wrong again. Wrong knob. I'm grasping for knobs in the dark, and I'm getting the wrong ones. Story of my life. Hey, look at those streetlights. Right, round we come. And level change down to 8,000. Should have been doing that a bit earlier actually during this entire turn, but hey ho. Let's reduce to 180 knots. I'll start putting flaps and such down. We'll go down to flaps 5, and then it'll be the standard gear down flaps 15 once we intercept the localizer, I think. Alright, that'll about do right there. intercept it at a 30-degree-ish sort of an angle. Never mind, it's just more time spent looking at the nice night lighting and stuff, I suppose. Alright. Localizer. And just let the plane do its thing. There it is, it's grabbed the localizer. Coming around. And 03 left. It's right in front of us. Oh my god, I think we're a bit high above the glide slope. You know what? You know how I said I wasn't planning on going around? Guess what I think we might be doing? Yep, looks like it. Fair enough. Alright then, well. Heading select. Command A. Alright, so. No worries, looks like we're doing a go around. Oh, there's someone down there, look at that. Can't see anything but disembodied lights at the minute, unfortunately, because of my rendering options probably, but hey ho. Alright, let's speed up a bit. Okay. Maximum of 220 knots at this point, so that's dialed in now. And we'll continue on runway heading. Going around this way. You'd stay at 8,000 feet, that's not an issue. Oh, at least we get a nice view of Johannesburg. Crikey. Shame about the flickering lights down there, but hey ho. So, that was a bit of a chronic misjudgment on the part of how close we actually were to the field. Now, I could have, of course, if I bothered to put in some fixes here on the fix page, saved myself a lot of bother. By doing something like this. If I go FAOR 03 left as our fix, I'm not found. Are you taking the piss? Alright, fine. What's the ILS ident? It's JSI, so we'll go JSI. Oh, come on! Fine. FAOR. There we go. And then do a distance of 8 miles. That ring there marks the point where we need to be sort of on the glide path, and then we'll do a distance of 4 miles, which is really the point where we need to just sort of decel and, you know, decel to our approach ref speed. So if I'd put them in the first place, I would have had a bit better sort of situational awareness of what was going on. Unfortunately, I didn't, because new plane, and sometimes you forget to do things like that, sadly. So anyway, we're past the runway, so we want to turn onto a heading of 300. Like so. Let's get our lights on. I'm not sure which ones you would turn on at this point. I guess we'll just have those on for now. Oh, those are the retractables, my bad. Got the wrong ones there. There we go. Yeah, we'll have those on. We'll put the logo line on as well, come to think of it. There we go. Very nice. Okay, 300, and then once we cross this radial over here on the right, we want to intercept the 220 radial from that, so we'll turn on to a heading of 250 approximately. Now I'm just going to wait for the purple bar to move across. Oh, right, yeah, that's the guy down there. He thought I went around because of him. Just now crossing it, so over to 250 degrees. And I'll now dial in the 220 radial for this. There we go. Needle's already moving. Now, I don't know how I don't know how to get your localizer on your autopilot to work with VOR2. I suppose without, unless you want to make flight direct the co-pilot's flight direct to the master as opposed to this one. Maybe that would do the trick, but I don't know. Right now, I'll just use heading select. It's not an issue. God, bank angle, much. Alright, close enough. Alright, there you go. Old-fashioned VOR flying as well as all the magenta line nonsense today, apparently. We got the whole lot. And yeah, that's put us more or less on the final course. As you can see, I completely ignored the missed approach procedure it actually gave us in here because it's nonsense. It's nothing like the real procedure at all, according to the chart. So, though admittedly that might have had something to do with my outdated AIRAC, but either way, we're flying it as per the chart and not as per the magenta line. FMCs, as they say, are not God. You've got to learn how to fly without them at the end of the day. So that's exactly what we're doing right now. Okay, turning onto the localizer. Looks like we'll be landing in the dark, which I honestly didn't expect today, but there it is. The sunset's well and truly fucking rolled by before I even knew what was going on here. Yeah, okay, here we go. So, just try and smooth out this approach path here. And please grab that localizer plane. Please grab it. Thank you. You've got it. Okay, I'm approach immediately. Gear down. Flaps 15. High altitude airports. The bane of my bloody existence, but we're slow enough now, and at least at the correct altitude, even if we seem to have overshot the localizer ever so slightly. It looks like we're coming back around now. Good stuff. Alright. Lights. Let's have flaps 30, please. Thank you very much. We'll give the cabin a bing. And landing checklist. Speed brake is now armed. Green light. Landing gear down 3 green. Flaps 30. Green light. Order brakes 2. Landing checklist complete. Let's do this. We've got the glide. We've got the localizer. Let's be nice and cautious and slow down a little more. Our VREF speed is all kinds of messed up still. We'll come in at 145, bang on the VREF and see if that's okay, because I don't think we're that heavy, if I'm being completely honest, but we'll sure as shit find out one way or the other, huh? Okay. Too dark to see the bloody disconnect button, but I've got it. Okay. My aircraft. Take out the auto throttle as well. Move it into the position to match up with where the throttles were, and we're good. Okay. I have control of the trim, and the stick, and the throttle. Let's finally bring this beast in. I'm not complaining about the night light landing in the dark or anything, by the way. The night lighting in X-Plane, as you can see, is freaking phenomenal. There's truly nothing to complain about here. It wants me to point the plane over to the left a bit, but that's not quite right, is it? I can see the runway right there. It seems to want me to land on the taxiway if I follow the localizer completely. Mind you, there is a bit of a tailwind to the left, but nothing to worry about. Mind you, the wind's picked up a bit since we made our initial approach. Planning. It's now 9 knots as opposed to 2, but I'm sure we'll manage it. I mean, we can add a tailwind to the list of things that was getting in the way on this landing attempt. Not to mention it is stupid o'clock in the morning for me right now, and really I just want to get on the ground. As fun as this has been. Come on. Man, you get. Alright, derotation. Reverse. That's actually beautiful. 60 knots. Manual braking. Stow the reverses. We'll get off at this taxiway here, I think, on our left. I can see the windsock lit up on my right there. Nice. Okay. Okay to clean up, so let's get the flaps all back in. And the speed brake. Whoa, bit of a sharp corner this, but okay. And X-plane stuttering again for reasons best known to itself. Get all the landing lights back in. And, oh, my taxi light is on, it's just very, very dim. And the strobe can go off. You guys can go off. And we'll squawk standby. Alright, terminal's that way. Let's get moving. Right, and I think this right here will do in a pinch. I have no idea if this is even remotely the correct gate. However, all I know is it is a gate. I am very bloody tired and I want to get off this plane. And I'm sure our passengers, after having done an entire go-around in addition to the rest of the flight, are probably feeling pretty similar at this juncture, so APU can now go on the buses as we pull in here. See how decent a job I can do of parking this. Probably something like that will do. Okay, parking brake can go on. APU's on the buses so we can immediately kill the engines. Hasta la vista. Anti-collision light off. Shame those don't work yet. Let the attendants know they gotta do their shit. Seatbelt signs can come off. Can depressurize that. Window heats off. Turn the APU bleed on so we can get some air conditioning. Turn off these. Turn off the yaw damper. I don't know if you can hear those engines spooling down back there, but that sounds absolutely fantastic. Wow, it's really loud when you sit right next to it up here. That's awesome. Anyway, looks like that's probably everything. Okay, parking brake is set, start levers are cut off, beacon is off, seatbelt signs are off, IRS mode selectors. Well, we're not going anywhere after this, so yeah, these can go off as well. Oh, look at that, it kept the fixed data even though I've pulled the IRSs. That's weird. Anyway, fuel is set. Galley power is as required. I'd like a cup of coffee after that, frankly, so I think I might leave it on. Electrical, I guess we can get the APU, sorry, the GPU in. My bad, I've clicked the wrong menu. Oh, this is why you don't record videos when you're stupid and just tired. Okay. Ground power unit. Ground power can go on. There we go. APU can go off. And we'll kill the bleed along with it. Window heats as required. Pitot heat is off. Engine anti-ice is off. Electrical hydraulic pumps are set. Air conditioning and pressurization is set. Exterior lights are as required. Flaps are up. Transponder is standby. And I need to end flight with Phoenix. Job done. Bloody finally. I'm not going to do the secure checklist because I can't be bothered. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome finally to Johannesburg, Tambo International. That was a long flight. Well, long by my usual standards anyway. It's hardly, you know, Heathrow to Sydney or anything ridiculous like that, but hey. Yeah, we can actually hide those catering trucks. We don't need them. But, yeah. So, I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, even though I began kind of losing my grip on reality a bit towards the end here. I think we've parked at a heavy gate. But, frankly, I don't even care anymore, because, yeah, we're right next to these massive bastards over here, but never mind. I don't give a damn at this point. I simply don't. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed me giving the new IXEG 737 a bit of a test drive around South Africa. I'll be back with more in the future. More streams, more videos hopefully as well. Probably more stuff as well in this thing, because I actually quite like this plane rather a lot, in spite of the few kinks it does still have that could do with it ironing out. It's pretty damn excellent if you ask me. So, thank you very much everybody. Suggestions, comments, etc. are always welcome down below, so leave them if you've got them. And flight suggestions, etc. are always good. Especially BA ones. I do like to do my BA virtual flying, of which we've just done a heap of today. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.